Booger shit. Booger shit. So I'm going to make a video and I'm going to talk about my experience here in Japan. And I always film in this car that I have because I don't like to be in my apartment or my house or whatever you want to call it and filming, being loud because you don't know who's listening to you. Living in a nation like this, it's almost like they give you freedoms. You got freedoms. It's just not like American freedoms, where you can express yourself without having, the scrutiny and the inferiority complexes that build on that, But, living here in Japan for the past year and a half, 2 years, it seemed like everything at first was just an adventure. It's just exploring, and learning about the places to go and the things to do and the food and everything, right? But you don't ever really truly understand this place until you start to really open your eyes and see how the people live for themselves. Now, Asian people in general, and Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, Taiwanese, all of these Philippines, whatever you want to call them, all of them have a difference. And the difference does not mean that it's any kind of racial, polarity, racial polarities, or there's any kind of racial differences in, what they are. They're different cultures, they're different, we're going to say different race of people because we're going to say in general they're Asian people, right? But there's different cultural values that each and every last one of these Asian races, are not Asian races, but these Asian cultures have, with them. Japan is one of the, I'm not going to say, I don't want to say it in the sense where I'm like just kind of like causing some type of confusion in it as to whether I'm being racist or I'm being in a sense ignorant towards what other Asian cultures out there have besides what Japanese people have. This is one of the most dominant nations in the Asian culture. To be specific, they were the most dominant. China, yeah, they were, but Japan, if you look at history, Japan beat China in a war. I don't know, countless times. So it's not like as if Japan is superior over China. No, I don't see it like that. But Japan does have a higher standard of how they treat themselves in society versus other nations, other Asian nations around here that treat each other, and because you don't see any third world living here in Japan, you mean you have to, I don't know, maybe there is, I don't know, I'm not sure. I haven't seen it since I've been here, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, I've never seen it. So just to say this, living here, the thing, like I was saying, and I didn't mean to get off subject like that, but the people here have, they have a very dark side to them, and they have a very funny way of expressing themselves. It's you could tell this culture, Japanese culture, has a very like dark secret to them. I'm just gonna put it that way. Not saying I'm not gonna say it's bad, but the word dark does seem like it's bad, right? Okay, let me show you what I mean. See, you cannot film like you want in Japan. There's so many rules and so many laws that they put in place to keep you from filming, a business, a location. You can't show people's faces because apparently everybody in Japan has something to hide, They don't like you filming their face. So you got to blur all of the faces. You got to blur the businesses out because they don't want you making money off of your video and their business happen to be in your video. That's how I take it. I take it as if you're making money and all of a sudden their business shows up in your film, then they figure they need to make money off of what you're making money off because you're making money, period. You're making money. That's how I see it, As far as the people, it's like Japan has a very fundamental cheating society. Fundamental, I mean, like, these people do it without hesitation. You know, it's like you get with a woman and, okay, I'm not satisfied with this woman, but I love this woman, and I like that woman, I like that woman, I like that woman, and, you know, it's going to get out there. They're going to get out there and do it. You know, the men are the ones that probably, you know, are the no, I think it's equal. I ain't gonna lie, I think it's very equal. The women do it, men do it. They both do it. Married couples, you know, and don't get me wrong, there are honest Japanese people out there. This dude just ran a red light, but yeah, there are honest Japanese people out there that literally live honest lives. They don't have a bad bone in their body to do anything wrong. They abide by the rules. They abide by the laws. They abide by the policies. They do all of that, right? But then there's this gigantic, this gigantic overlay of history in Japan that a lot of Japanese people don't want you to know about. They don't. It's like Japanese people. Let me go back to what I was saying about the filming thing, right? Japanese people don't want you to say anything bad about them. You know, okay, look at everything good I'm doing, but don't say nothing bad about me. I'll get you for defamation, even though it's true. They'll claim defamation like Trump do in America. He does something wrong. He don't want you to see anything wrong, but you know he figures I can sue you because you're throwing out my dirty laundry. Well, the whole country of Japan is like that, and it's not fair to society that, you know, a restaurant can have roaches, right? And you can't say nothing about it. I mean, you can make a management aware of it, but a management gonna come over there, you know, with this nervous, content look in their face, like, don't say nothing about it, please. We don't want to rile up the other customers that you saw a giant roach right here on your table. You know what I mean? I'll sue you. Like, what the fuck is that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, what in the fuck is that? You know, how could they, so that's why I'm saying, when you filming, right, and you just so happen to film a location like a restaurant, and you see bugs everywhere, you cannot say anything. In America, you know damn well you can get your ass up and say, look at all these goddamn roaches every fucking where. And people are gonna, you know, I mean, you can say it in a rude way, or you can say it in a polite way, but you can say it, and you won't be fucked over for it because, you know, you're telling the truth. Not here in Japan. You got to keep that shit to yourself. You know, and if you're going to talk about it, you got to pull the manager aside and say, hey, there's some roaches over here. And he ain't going to give you no discount. He ain't going to give you no favors or anything like that. Then you're going to say, oh, okay, well, we'll clean it up so the next person will have to deal with it, right? That's kind of fucked up, you know. But that's how it is here in Japan. It's just, that's so dark to me. Like, these people just, they naive. Either they're naive or it's just a culturalistic ignorance. And it's I mean, literally, it's fucking crazy. You know, I've never seen shit like that before. And now living here, I never thought I would, you know, be exposed to, you know, such. To me, I'm just gonna say it's just ignorance, you know. I mean, I worked at a restaurant here for a year and a half, and honestly, you know, I've never seen Japanese people. I mean, because I was given the impression that Japanese people were clean and they were detailed and they were, you know, organized, and I mean, it shows. But man, as soon as you go underneath the surface and you touch it, what the fuck, you know, and they like, don't say nothing, shh, don't say nothing. Like, wow. Like, damn, this is a restaurant. Families eat here, kids, you know, you eat here. I mean, you don't think that's a problem? You don't think that's an issue where you have to, you know, make it a point to try to fix it and fix it now, fast? No, they don't look at it like that, you know. It's like, we'll get to it, you know, we'll fix it in time, and then it'll go right back to that because they don't hold any kind of consistency, you know. And that's another thing I noticed about Japan, and this country is consistent. These people are lockstep, you know, like robotic minds. You know, they get up and they go to work. They do the same things, ride the same, you know, the same train line. They look at the same. They probably sit in the same seat. You know, they go to the same restaurant. It's like there's a lot of people here that are just one-track minded ass motherfucking people, and it is scary. I mean, it ain't funny. It used to be funny to me, like, to see these people just robotically do things the way they do. Now it's scary, because it's like you're living in a society where, you know, like, you ever seen the monkey thing, right? Where, and like I told you, there's freedom here. Don't get me wrong, there's freedom, but it's limited like a motherfucker, you know. But you ever seen the 3 monkeys, right? The monkey that covers his eyes, the monkey that covers his ears, and the monkey that covers his mouth. That's Japan. Literally. It's booger shit, y'all. I'll catch y'all in the next vid.